In honor of my sister's wedding being just 3 weekends away, we're checking out more Bridezillas. And I'm not saying my sister's a Bridezilla. I'm just, because it's fitting with the wedding. My sister is such a chill bride. Welcome to my bridal party. Oh boy, we have a message from the bride. I'm so excited to marry the man of my dreams. As you know, this is going to be a very different wedding. We are hoping to do it outside and understand December is generally a cold month, but in Oklahoma, it's usually sunny and 70. Okay, I panicked and I thought you were in Canada. Just a few things to ask. I handpicked all the dresses and bridesmaids that will be there, and they will all be a size 8. So if you're not a size 8, I recommend hitting the gym. No offense to anyone, but I've had this plan since I was in diapers. Oh, in diapers. Let's not be dramatic there. And want it to be perfect. Your nails need to be cut short and uncolored. Hair needs to be shoulder length and straightened. So if your hair is short, get extensions. As you may notice, my bestie isn't the maid of honor and is just going to be a guest. Oh, yeah, she backed out. If you don't know why, just ask. We have an understanding. We also want no kids at the ceremony except my flower girl, but she will only be present to throw flowers, then her parents are taking her home. I'm sorry if this seems like a lot of demands, but this isn't special day and just want it like I always pictured. This is the special day. Please be respectful and we will have an awesome time. One last thing, I'll be sending my Venmo and Cash App to the ones who haven't paid the $500 donation towards honeymoon in Hawaii. Love you guys. Can't wait to be a wifey. We have an update though from the bridesmaid that shared this. They wrote, I've officially dropped out of the bridal party. I'm a size 12 with no plans on dropping to a size 8 by December. Every part of that made me want to throw up. Also, what about people who are like a size 2? Or size 4. Does that mean they're gonna be swimming in their dresses? We are sending out invites for the wedding this week, going through the list of people to invite. We only have so much room at the church and reception. I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible so no one gets butt hurt. If you do not get an invite, here is a list of potential reasons why. Oh, I love to see this. If I have invited you every time we have a group function and you never show up, if you are just a work acquaintance and I've never hung out with you outside of work, if I show up to things you invite me to and you never show up to our invites or even respond, if I've only hung out with you in a group setting and we're not that close of friends, if at any point you ever talk smack about me or blank, you're definitely not invited. If you're only going to show up for food and alcohol and really have no interest other than that. If you got married and I thought we were friends and you didn't invite me, we don't care. I'm pretty sure the work acquaintance that you've never hung out with outside of work is probably not sitting there being like, well, why wasn't I invited? Well, the engagement party starts and everyone except for the couple seem to be having a great time. Then halfway through the party, we suddenly hear the girl scream at her fiance, we will never have a Christmas tree in my house, so you can get over it. And from there, it developed into a shouting match between the couple who moved from the banquet hall to the lobby so their guests couldn't hear the argument. Didn't work. They heard everything. Apparently, she was Jewish and he was Protestant, and not once in the relationship had they discussed religion. Oh my God, so you chose your engagement party to do it? They went at it on and off for 2 hours. She was screaming at the top of her lungs about how their non-existent children would be raised Jewish and how his traditions didn't matter. Her mother standing at her side and nodding in agreement and interjecting occasionally with a "that's right" and a "you tell him." He was pleading in a good attempt to be quiet, but was obviously frustrated, for her to at least compromise to let him at least invite his pastor from his hometown to the wedding, and that their non-existent children could possibly do things with his parents for Christmas, even if they didn't celebrate. The guests just kept partying, pretending nothing was happening, but you could see on all of their faces that they wanted to leave, but couldn't since they would have to pass by the couple to get to the only exit. Oh my God. Only after 2 hours and the argument eventually devolving into her insisting her children would never see a Christmas tree in their whole lives so they wouldn't be confused, Good luck with that one in this country, lady. The groom finally dejectedly said, well, then maybe this isn't going to work. I've never seen a banquet room clear of people so fast. Within 15 minutes, everyone was gone and it was just a ghost town. And from the looks of it, everyone took their gifts with them. Probably for the best. Worse still, it was the former bride's family who had hosted and were staying at the hotel. So we spent the next 2 days commiserating with them about how awful the groom was as they moved their daughter out of his apartment. Dude dodged a bullet. Oh my God, they broke up. I seemed way too excited for that failed relationship. I used to be a bridal consultant at a retail store, which basically means I helped couples scan things into the registry. This one couple came in to start a new registry, which quickly turned into only things the bride wanted. Anything the groom wanted to put down on the registry was deemed as childish, stupid, ugly, unpractical, and I felt so bad for this guy. The poor man just wanted a waffle maker. Who doesn't want waffles? Especially when you're putting it down on a registry, like as a gift. Take it. I worked at a high-end bridal shop in my early 20s. One day I had a bride-to-be shopping for a gown and she had brought her mom, aunt, and sister, who had just become a new mom, with her to her appointment. The sister was obviously a little jealous that attention was no longer being lavished on her and her new baby, and instead, the bride was the center of attention. As I was fitting the bride in a $2,500 Lazaro bridal gown, the sister decided to change her newborn's diaper in the dressing room and proceeded to hold the poop-filled diaper up to the gold-hued gown and exclaim, "Look, the colors almost match." I excused myself from the room for fresh air and to regain composure. In my experience, the brides were rarely the problem, the family was. It was technically the sister. Being a bridezilla, she wasn't even a bride. She's just a monster. I worked management at a resort in a popular tourist town. A manager was always required to check in the bridal couple, and I had been given a heads up by the coordinator on Bridezilla. They wanted a room on the highest floor and closer to the beach. They were booked into the honeymoon suite, 3rd floor, ocean's views. Nope, she wanted higher and closer. Had an absolute meltdown at the front desk when I explained there was nothing higher or closer. Honeymoon suite and ocean views, like I'm sold. That's all I need. I worked at a mom pop shop. We had a bride who was Polish, who my boss called Polish Princess. She wasn't my bride, but they picked a very bad consultant for her. Made worse by the fact that this girl wanted stuff added to her dress that wasn't done by the manufacturer, so we had to do it all in-house. To give you an example, she wanted lights. Those tube lights. Lights in her dress? I think that's what they are called and are around the bottom half of a dress that we had already spliced with 2 different dresses. Oh my God. We spent months fixing and refitting this dress because she not only lost 45 pounds from her first time being measured, which brought her 4 dress sizes less than her original, she also got a massive boob job. Well, after finally fitting her into her gown on the last week, she decided the lights that took our poor 70-year-old seamstress 2 months to sew in looked tacky. Yeah. She was crying and throwing herself at her mother in a tantrum, screaming in Polish all this crazy stuff. She ripped the bottom of the dress and ultimately had to buy a dress from David's Bridal because my boss finally got smart and kicked her out. Just a mess. She made our seamstress cry. That biatch. Her 7-year-old seamstress, I can just imagine she was sitting there putting her freaking heart, sweat, and tears into that. I don't know why you thought lights were tacky in the first place. Restaurant manager story. They were a rich couple and we wanted more of their business. Their menu was $119 a person and they had $80 bottles of red on the table. Guests start to arrive and obviously start ordering drinks. At this point, bride and mother see this and approach the head server. They tell her that everyone except the head table are to get separate bills, that they are not planning on paying for anything but what's at the head table. Seems that the bride and mother decided that their guests should have to pay, and they didn't want to be the bad guys, so they expected us to have to tell all the guests. Absolutely not. This is so terrible. I'm sorry, but I would have to do like a dine and dash. We tell the people that have already arrived. Half of them laugh, thinking it's a joke. Once we told them the truth, they laughed and left. My job became to stay at the front and tell all the people arriving for the dinner that they are going to be responsible for their whole bill and what the costs were. Final guest count was 20 people. Most left once I told them what the costs were. We ended up threatening legal action against them since they signed the banquet sheet stating that they agreed on 60 dinners. Best part was they paid the full 60 dinners plus gratuity and only had 20 people there because they wanted to save money. I was gonna say, if everyone left, you're stuck with the bill at the end. So no matter what, you were paying with no guests. I just can't imagine being at a wedding like this. More Bridezillas. Do you want to see even more of them? I am out of here, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.